Beware, I live.
Welcome to the new RiverCityGamers Podcast, hosted by SCXCR and Well Unreal 007, as well as many other members from the RiverCityGamers website. Stay tuned for all the gaming news, new pickups, and everything else we feel like talking about on the RiverCityGamers Podcast.
You encounter a RiverCityGamers Podcast. Roll a d20. You are SCXCR.
Roll for Unreal. 8.
I'm gonna flip a coin. Yep, that landed on Zeromaster.
Magic Missile from Blondeguygamer.
You gotta roll for that.
Oh, I don't know how many dice.
Here,
No, you don't have to roll for
Blonde-
Magic Missile.
Oh, right, yeah. But let's roll for Blondeguygamer.
Yeah, I knew that.
Nat 20!
Oh shit, that means we go into gaming news.
Gaming news! So unreal.
I just realized this is going to be a very Nintendo-centric gaming news. Like, I just glanced at all the tabs I have open and realized, holy shit, most of these are Nintendo.
Well, like,
I'm okay with
I
that.
could probably think of at least one of those. Of why that is.
Well, one thing that Nintendo did recently is they finally shared a bunch of details about their online service coming in September. Just a brief summary of what they're doing. They're going to have access to save data cloud backup, online play for certain games. They specifically cited stuff like Splatoon 2, ARMS, Mario Tennis Aces, Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. There's going to be a Switch Online app, which allows things like voice chat, to which I say, fuck that, I have Discord.
Well, yeah, I mean, we have Discord. There's no real need for us to use that.
It's an easy way to get rid of the 12-year-olds who are just gonna yell racist stuff at us.
And there's going to be the NES Nintendo Switch Online compilation, which it's going to start off with 20 games. Apparently have more added on some kind of regular basis, starting with stuff like Dr. Mario, Mario Bros. 3, Balloon Fight, Donkey Kong, Ice Climber, Legend of Zelda, and just because, soccer and tennis.
Yeah.
Well, you gotta mention the important part of that.
Why don't you mention the important part of that?
The big thing with those games, like if there's a multiplayer in it, you can play that online.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's something that I think only like maybe a couple virtual console games back on the Wii actually had that ability, or to some effect. But now that it's actually being implemented into this, it's pretty cool.
The only problem I have with this whole thing, and I mentioned this briefly on the Hunter Base podcast, is that I feel like it shouldn't have all been NES games. They should have thrown in a couple of Super Nintendo games or just something else, because how many of us own all those games already?
Not me.
I don't.
Like, I own pretty much all those games already on several platforms.
Well, even
except
if you
for
don't,
maybe sports ones.
well, even if you don't own all of the games like physically Unreal, you still have like the SNES, or you can still get like the NES Classic or something like that.
Yeah, but like that's the re-release of the NES Classic has not come out yet, and there's no guarantee that they'll stay in stock if it does. So,
Well,
Like-
SNES, yeah.
Like if they were doing this and they were offering online play for older games, why not throw in something like, I don't know, Mortal Kombat 2? But I guess that's not Nintendo, so it doesn't matter. But even like Mario Kart, like Super Mario Kart, that's an easy one. They could have just thrown in. And
Well, I
it's just-
imagine that for now they're doing NES, and then they'll probably launch like SNES compilation later and other stuff.
I feel
know.
like they're testing the waters, because like there have been emulators where you can actually sort of play online, but it wasn't super great. Like it would work, but then it would just slowly not work. For example, like it would just desync, and it just
Yeah, those
But-
were wonky.
So I feel like they're starting with NES because it's more simple, and then they slowly work their way up if they could. But
I guess that makes sense, but it's
the other news is that they pretty much said because of this, there are no plans for Virtual Console, which kind of sucks.
That's really lame.
It does, but even if they were to introduce virtual console games, this would be the third system to do it, and there would be people that would be like, "Oh, I'm not going to get Mario Brothers again for the Switch," you know?
Well, or they already have the the Wii U on the eShop. Just fucking add their purchases for that they already made on the eShop to be able to access them on their Switch.
They're not going to do that.
Exactly. They could easily do it, but they're not going to.
I would argue against
Nintendo.
the easily, because it's like bringing a whole different store system on top of another system. Or something
It's
like that.
plausible because the accounts are actually linked. If we were talking original Wii, no. But
Yeah, original Wii not going to
But
happen.
Wii U and even 3DS is a little more plausible because your accounts are shared between all three of those now. But like,
And even then, it's like, I'm pretty sure, has the Switch outsold the Wii U at this point? Because I think it has.
Easily.
oh yeah,
Yes.
like
So
that,
the
as
user
of
base-
last year, like
Yeah, so what I'm getting at is that the user base of the Switch is much larger than the Wii U now, so there's not going to be that much of a demand for Wii U, like pure Wii U stuff on the Switch.
Well,
we're speaking strictly virtual console here.
The
I know,
other thing to think with that is, but the games are already available on the eShop. Just fucking put them on the new eShop on the Switch. It can't be that difficult. It can't be that difficult for them to do that. I think they're just choosing not to do that because they know that they can sell these games again in other places.
Perhaps.
But it also seems like they're not doing the virtual console because this online service thing is the virtual console. Like,
But you don't get to keep the games.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you don't
but
get to keep
it's-
PlayStation Plus games either.
Yes, you do.
No, you don't.
Well, only
if it's a free game for the month, if you unsubscribe, it's locked. You only keep it if you actually buy it.
Yeah, you can only access them with PlayStation Plus enabled. Yeah, and even in the NES, this NES thing, it's more like, I guess you could say, like a Netflix style streaming service where it's like you can just browse the library and just play whatever you want whenever you want, type of thing. And there is definitely appeal to that, but of course the downside is that you don't actually own any of those, and that if you don't have the online service enabled, all the time, or if it's disabled for whatever reason, then you can't access those anymore.
And we don't even know how well it would work. Like, again, if it's like based entirely on streaming, like what if there's input lag? Even if you're like, say, not playing multiplayer, like
Yeah.
there could be the chance that even for NES, it would just mess up and not feel as good. There's a chance.
This is the same argument, again, 100 Base Podcast, CJ and I made about PlayStation Now, is that they should have an offline mode so that you don't have to be always online maybe online just to check to see if, you're still subscribed, but like not streaming the game to your console, because you could be in a place that has no internet and then you can't play some of the games. So as long as Nintendo doesn't make them streamed to the system, then I'll be okay with this, but it's just... If you're not going to offer the virtual console, you shouldn't just offer this at all. It's just, I just think it's bullshit.
I, for one, welcome the second coming of our NES satellite and or Sega channel overlords.
Oh God! Now that you mention that, oh boy, we got to mention the price though, which
There are 4 different pricing structures for this. 1 month is $4. This is all US, by the way. 3 months, $8. 12 months, $20.
Oh, that's actually a lot cheaper than I would expect.
that's roughly around what people were rumoring it to be. Like all those leaks were saying, like it was going to be that price.
Yeah, and the Canadian prices aren't that much different. I think it's $5 for 1 month, and I think it's $25 for a year.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably like 25.
Yeah, because Happy Console Gamer did a video when it got announced.
Welcome
and
to
he had
another
the Canadian
episode.
prices. Hey guys, welcome to another episode.
So we don't have to be a rocket scientist to say that this is cheaper than Xbox and PlayStation's full year plans.
Oh, definitely. Like full years
But
on those are like 60.
They're offering something completely different. In a regard.
Yeah,
20 for a year for Switch is something I could probably tack on with my other subscriptions and not feel like I'm draining money.
at least not much more. Yeah.
Even if it's like, okay, I'll try a month. $4 for US. That's
It's a
pretty
good price. And then there's the family plan thing, which I don't fully understand.
Yeah,
yet,
that was what I was going to mention. That's the fourth pricing option. That is $35 for 12 months. And the way this works is, it's basically a group plan of sorts. You can have up to 8 Nintendo account holders able to use the Switch online service across different systems.
Okay.
Which is pretty good, because I like that, because I'm planning to get a Switch, and usually my brother and I, we share our consoles until we get our own eventually. But like, we're probably gonna, when I get the Switch, he's probably gonna want to play Switch games, and he's not gonna be able to play them online unless he also has a subscription. And it's getting $5 off, or $5 or $10 off, I think it is, comparatively to each us buying our own subscriptions, is a pretty good deal. I think that's
so. Hold on, let me get this straight. You said across multiple systems?
Yeah, it says even on different systems.
So, in theory, could one of us pay for, like, say, 4 plus a couple of other Switches online for a year?
RCG plan.
This is an actual question, because, like, this is something we could probably do.
The River City family.
I imagine that's more so for like households with multiple Switches, but would that work across online?
Yeah, there are a lot of specifics we have to work out with that. Well, we're not done talking about the Switch yet, because actually, CJ brought this up on the last podcast, was games re-releasing for the Switch that were on the Wii U. And he made the point of how many people have a Switch versus how many people have a Wii U. Well, we're starting to see this pan out a little bit, because Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze for the Switch, and this is just going by Japan sales, it's already sold like over half of its initial shipment. Which, to put that in perspective, that's almost double what it did for the Wii U.
When it first launched?
Yes.
Man, people want that new funky mode.
I kind of do too, but I don't know if I will pay full price to get funky mode. You know what I mean? Because I already bought the game on Wii U. But
Yeah, I got it secondhand on Wii U. I mean, like...
Yeah, because I've played it on Wii U, and I wouldn't mind getting this version too, but it's more like, yeah, I wouldn't, but because I already haven't played it, it's like, but here's the thing though, like, especially with first party Nintendo titles, they take a long time to go down in price, and by the time they finally do, they're like gone. So it's like,
Can't wait for that Devil's Third port.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that'll come.
yeah, I fucking hope that happens.
Dude, if that happens, I will laugh. I'd be like, well, now online's back for 1 whole year before it shuts down again.
Then we'll just have to keep waiting for the PC version of the multiplayer coming 20XX.
I forgot that was a thing too.
Exactly.
Then again, a lot of people forget Devil's Third was a thing in its own, so...
Well, here's something we didn't forget was a thing. Remember Monster Hunter Double Cross?
Yes.
Well, people were pissed for a while because Capcom was like, we're not going to bring this to the West. But then they were. Because now it's Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate. Coming to the West for the Switch, and I think the 3DS too?
Nope.
Pretty sure it's just for the Switch, because in the trailer it says you can actually transfer your Generations data into this version.
Alright, that's what's throwing me off.
Kind of like how you could transfer Freedom data into Freedom Unite.
Or it could actually be your actual save data and you continue where you're left out. I don't think that's what it's going to be, but if it is, then it's like, wow, I beat some of Generations Ultimate the day of launch within the first second of booting up. But
either way, this is good for most of us, because I don't think a lot of us got like super far into Generations.
I got pretty far.
I didn't get pretty far either.
Some of us did.
Scott got the furthest. I beat the game, but I didn't go past that.
Generations was the one that didn't have G rank, right? Or was that 4? No, wait, 4 had G rank. I know, because we did G rank quests.
Keep in mind, World also does not have G rank.
It currently doesn't have G rank. I'm sure it's eventually going to come, just because it's kind of a staple of the franchise at this point.
Yeah, I think Generations Ultimate has G rank, but not Generations.
Okay, so basically the Ultimate is they're finally adding G rank to it, which is
and
nice.
like 5 bajillion monsters.
Yeah, this was something that I brought up when people were like, well, why are you bringing it out now that World is already out? There are reasons to do that, and one of them is the roster of monsters in the game. So I actually went back and counted. World has 32 large monsters. Generations had 69 large monsters. Generations Ultimate has 89, including ya boy Zero, White Fatally.
Oh my god. Are you guys ready for a White Fatally run? An aka one White Fatally run, meaning 60 White Fatally runs?
I can't wait to fight White Fatally. Quest failed.
Oh boy, I hope you guys are good with some kind of ranged weapon, because this is going to be a good time. Don't get struck by lightning.
I'll just get struck by lightning.
Come on, it'll probably be like not as bad as like earlier ones where it actually is a one-hit kill. There's like,
okay, I'm going to have to keep a timer the first time we play it.
if we even play that far, there could be a point where it's like, all right, let's go back to World. There's a very like possible fear that may happen with us.
I'll say that World is keeping me enticed with the events content, but I've played most of what I already want unless they slap G rank on it.
I pretty much like 100% of the game at this point, but I'm still going back.
Yeah, I mean,
but
World's
like,
a good game,
again, it's usually for events because World's gameplay loop and how everything feels is phenomenal. And so like every time we go back, it's like, oh man, this is
the gameplay and everything is really good about World, but it is lacking a little bit in terms of content compared to other games.
So in other words, it's like how we first played Try, where there wasn't a lot, but we fucking stuck a billion hours into it.
And see, the thing is that I don't think people who bought World are going to buy Generations Ultimate just because it's the old school style Monster Hunter still. As much as they fixed back on in the jank days, it's still jank. So this is going to be
Generations a little bit, but
the Generations Ultimate is going to definitely be for Monster Hunter fans, whereas Monster Hunter
and Switch
World,
owners if they couldn't play,
exactly. And Monster Hunter World's more for old people, old fans, and to get new people.
It's for old people.
It's for old people. Back in my day, we had to use the right analog stick to do attacks.
Elders react to Elder Dragons in Monster Hunter.
Elder Dragons react to Double Joe. Oh my god.
Old Monster Hunters ain't what they used to be. Ain't what they used to be.
So, ever since the announcement of Generations Ultimate, I just like immediately came up with a song. It's called Return of the Jank by Mac Morrison.
Return of the Jank?
You know that I'm G-Rank?
Yes, I know.
Oh my girl. I'm not gonna sing it on the podcast, but it was something actually like, it's like, oh, this game's coming out. Return of the Jank. Oh shit. Oh man.
Is that what this game's name is going to be called now? Return of the Jank?
Return
After
of
World,
the Jank.
something like that is Return of the Jank.
And then if they make a Monster Hunter Triple Cross, are we going to have to call that Revenge of the Jank?
We're gonna Monster Hunter porn, but then that's localized to Generations Ultimate 2 or Generations Megaforce. I don't know.
Guest starring Matt Hoffman.
Yeah, needless to say, we look forward to this because we're Monster Hunter fans, and we'll probably go back and forth between that and Worlds next while.
Well, I think Generations Ultimate is going to be our convention Monster Hunter. World is our home Monster Hunter.
I think it's going to be a little of both because I'm assuming both games are going to have event quests as well, because there'll be something for World and then there'll be something for Generations Ultimate when it comes out. So
I feel like Generations Ultimate is doing it the old way, where it's like it's downloaded to your thing instead of like rotated.
Yeah, like the DLC method, the way they've done it before. But I mean, like, you know what I mean? Like, there'll be new content probably, I'm assuming, for both games that we don't have yet. So we'll probably be switching between. I know I will be switching between them, but I'm just happy this is happening because I was kind of upset that they weren't bringing this one out, but I was happy that we were getting World at least. But now I'm just super happy because now we get both of them, and because I really like Generations, but I cannot play Monster Hunter on 3DS anymore. It's just not happening for me anymore. It's too small of a screen, and I don't like the control scheme as much. So I'd rather have, and I could play this version probably in portable mode because I've seen how big the Switch screen is. So I'm very okay with what they're doing with this, and I'm so glad it's coming out.
Yeah, it's coming out after our Anime North stuff, like months later. So it's like we won't get to play it while we're gone, but
Yeah, it's like
No, but I
next
mean-
year we will.
I mean, it honestly, it was going when I got a Switch. I was thinking it was just going to be me who was going to get this because I was going to import it. But now that it's actually coming out, I know that some of you guys are actually going to get the game. So,
August 28th is gonna kill me.
is that when it comes out?
That's when it comes out. Same day as Yakuza Kiwami 2.
We know you're going to play both games at the same time, anyways.
Why do I get 2 video
You're
games?
going to beat Yakuza in like a day.
No, those can be long.
Well,
Yakuza
probably
6
just,
took-
Sorry. Let me rephrase that. You're going to beat Yakuza in a week.
Guess what I did?
Exactly.
I'm stay a while.
So it's not like you're. And then when you're done beating Yakuza, okay, Monster Hunter.
No, it'll be back and forth.
Well, on that note, I'm going to move on to a different story. I'm going to take you back in time to a moment when Mr. Koji Igarashi had a Kickstarter going for a little game called Bloodstained. Now, some of you may remember that there were a bunch of tiers that you unlocked by going into the basement of that castle picture that they had up. One of those was a prequel minigame. Well, now we know what that is. Bloodstained Curse of the Moon, aka not Castlevania 3.
oh no, especially not from Igarashi, whose favorite Castlevania ever is 3. Oh no, that would never happen.
I'm so happy this has come out and it's a classic Vania style game and not a Metroidvania style one. We need more classic Vania.
I've wanted one of those like really old school Castlevania games for so long.
The Metroidvania ones are fine, but like I just don't have time to sink into a lot of those. With the classic Vania style ones, as long as like it might take you a few hours, but once you get good at it, then you can usually beat those games in just a couple of hours. You don't need to spend a ton of time in them.
Although you may want to, because this game does have multiple endings depending on who you finish the game with.
Yeah, see, I like that.
But it seems like with the gameplay video, it's like you can switch between all 4 instead of like having to pick one partner while you keep, say, Trevor, for example.
But the floor is fight without balls kick.
What?
What?
That's an old like meme image from the Castlevania animated series.
Fight without balls
Oh, I
kick.
still haven't seen that.
Yeah, the first episode is basically Trevor getting kicked in the dick a lot.
Oh, I forgot. Yeah, you're right.
Wait a minute, what?
Well,
You guys should watch Castlevania on Netflix.
Is this gonna have to be in the Castlevania anime thing?
Yeah, animated. Yes.
Oh,
What, you thought there was like a clip in the NES game where someone just kicks Trevor in the balls over and over? Now I want to see that.
Has season 2 of that come out, by the way?
No, but it's in the works. Either way, I am excited for this, and it's coming out while we're gone at Anime North.
Yeah, the Thursday we go to Anime North, it's coming out.
I opted to get it and the full blood scene, like the
Full
Kickstarter
blood.
scene.
We'll just call it full blood.
the
That's
other
good.
one, the one that was for the Kickstarter on PS4. But even though I don't have a Switch, I'm kind of feeling like maybe I should switch them over to Switch because I feel like I'd have more fun with the game on Switch than I would on
Well,
PS4.
I mentioned this prior to the podcast, but I originally had both Bloodstained and the side game for PS4. Then when I saw the trailer for the side game, I switched the side game to Switch and kept the main game for PS4 because like Castlevania was NES, so Switch,
Yeah.
and
But
Symphony of the Night, Metroidvania, was PlayStation, so Sony.
My problem is I don't have a Switch yet, and if I do that, I'm not going to get to play it for a few months because I'm not getting one.
Well,
Probably
you're in
until
luck,
July.
because if I'm able to download it somehow before we actually drive out, you'll get to play it.
Oh yeah, or well,
Because
the
there's
other
no
thing-
way I'm going to be able to download it at a hotel. They won't even allow that.
The other thing I considered is just getting it for PS4 now, and then just buying it again for Switch later.
Oh, I was actually considering buying it again for PlayStation later. It's only $10, by the way. Keep in mind, if you didn't
Yeah.
back it, it's $10.
Yeah, it's like what was it? Mighty Gunvolt was like it was just like a side game, and then that's another thing I want to get for Switch. I want to get the Mighty Gunvolt sequel,
It's Mighty
Because-
Gunvolt Burst, and I'll just
AKA
say right now, it's kind of like better than.
aka what Mighty Number 9 should have been, is what it is, because it basically is 8-bit Mighty Number 9. Not just because of the graphical style, because the gameplay is better. But anyways, enough of that. this is cool that this is coming out. You know what? Yeah, I'm gonna keep with the PS4 version. I'll just buy it again on Switch when I get a Switch because I'll probably want to play it.
Yeah, because I ended up choosing it for PS4. So
you can still change it. Like I actually
you have a few
changed
days
it.
to change it.
Yeah, but I don't. Yeah, but I'm okay with just having it on PS4. Like I don't plan on like taking it with me or something like that.
I do want.
My
I do
Switch
want to
needs
play it while we're at
games,
it.
so I'm giving it a game.
I just want to keep it consistent with Bloodstained because I'm getting Bloodstained on PS4. So we all have our reasons to pick whatever. So it's
I already stated my reasons. Also, my Switch needs more games. So, yeah. Thanks, Igarashi, for the trailer changing my PS4 thing to Switch. It's cool.
Well, I'd like to end gaming news with video games being blamed for something.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go.
Wheel of Morality, turn. Tell us a lesson that we should learn. And today's lesson is:
If you play a video game, you will be blamed for that affecting your job performance. Specifically, we go to Major League Baseball, the Boston Red Sox.
Oh, great.
Where pitcher David Price, who he's had a rough go with the Red Sox. He's been injured a lot. He just missed a game for mild carpal tunnel, and the Boston Globe is blaming it on him playing Fortnite.
Are you fucking serious?
Now, here's the great part. He doesn't play it on PC. He plays it on Xbox.
What? What's the name of this publication again?
That was the Boston Globe.
What is wrong with fucking old school media? What the fuck? Just fucking die already. Nobody reads you anyways.
Older people do still.
Yeah, but older people don't count because they're almost dead.
Okay, well, if you want to put that on record, sure.
Borrowing an old line from Crow Productions. Old people are very old,
And they often die.
Yeah, what he said.
I was actually going to say that earlier in the podcast. I'm glad it somehow came up later.
And you wonder why they don't like millennials.
It's because they're old and they aren't dead yet. That's
And they
why.
often die.
Oh, God.
Oh, man.
No disrespect if you're an old person and listen to us, but fucking don't let your peers do this.
No disrespect to your parents.
I respect my parents and everything. But
So why was the Xbox part the important part?
Because if you're getting carpal tunnel, it's usually from using like a keyboard and a mouse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Why the fuck?
I mean, we saw that on South Park with World of Warcraft, so, you know. But, like...
Do these people even know what carpal tunnel is? Do they even know what it is? Or do they just think it's a magic buzzword for, my hand hurt?
Well, they did... minor carpal tunnel, and it's that was probably, like, medically stated with the baseball player. So it's not like, Xbox causes carpal tunnel. That's not it. It's just like, no.
Even holding a controller for like multiple hours wouldn't cause, I don't think, that much damage compared to like, say, practice pitching.
I will admit that I'm using a different controller now for PS4 to play Monster Hunter because of the way my hand would go numb when I was holding the PS4 controller. But that didn't give me fucking carpal tunnel.
Maybe a few more hours it would give you minor carpal tunnel. Thanks, Boston Globe.
I work at a computer all the time. If I get carpal tunnel, it's because of that.
So thanks, Fortnite. Apparently, you're the designated bad man now because you're the
Thanks,
biggest
old
thing.
media, for being dumb and stupid as usual.
Well, that's usually just in regards to like any mainstream video game. So,
Oh, this is a video game? It's bad. This school shooting was caused because they played too much Super Mario Brothers. Like, fuck me. Like,
They played Fortnite, a game where you build things instantly. Clearly, that caused a school shooting.
Dahir InShot presents a system where you can build fortresses easily.
New study shows that playing Minecraft makes you violent. Like, fucking shut up.
Is Dahir InShot gonna bring out that artery unclogging thing that would most likely kill you the moment it sets fucking...
Our quadcopters deliver your turnkey fortresses.
Can we just move on? I'm getting more pissed off by the second just thinking about this.
Well, why don't we go from gaming news to now playing?
Okay.
Zero, to help take your mind off that other conversation, why don't you go first?
Well, Monster Hunter. There's that.
you have been playing that for the past few months, yes.
There's our weekly check-in of Monster Hunter. We're still playing it.
Yeah, I did I did finally get my SNES Classic. So I started streaming Donkey Kong Country. So every Tuesday and Thursday, streams at 11 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to be streaming probably the rest of Donkey Kong Country. Probably by the time this comes out will be the next session for that. Currently playing more Pokemon Soul Silver for my channel. Other than that, not too much stuff here, stuff there, mostly. Just nothing super slow. I actually haven't been playing that many video games in the last little bit, even though, I have a Let's Play channel that I post weekly videos of me playing video games too. Other than what I stream and what I've been playing on my Let's Play, not too much right now, but I'm sure once I get my Switch, that will change. And that's it for me.
All right, well, let's keep it in the country. Blondie, why don't you go next?
Okay, I'm mostly just going to talk about just a few games that I guess gotten recently and played for a bit. It's funny we were talking about how Wii U games being ported to Switch. Well, the most recent thing I got for my Switch was Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. So I've been playing that, and for all intents and purposes, it is the most definitive version of that game. It includes all of the DLC and everything from Mario Kart 8, as well as a few new things. One of those being that it has proper battle mode, because in 8, the original 8 for Wii U had a battle mode, but it was very pointless, because all it was just you just battle on the courses, and not courses specific for battle mode.
I forgot that version had the actual battle mode. We gotta do that in Anime North.
Well, yeah, that's one reason why I got this version too. So, but yeah, the original battle mode in Mario Kart 8 sucked. So it was good. It was nice to see this improved version. And it has a bunch of different modes. You have your standard balloon battles. You have coin rares to collect the most coins. You have bomb on blast to throw bombs at each other. And Shine Thief, which is kind of like a capture the flag type mode, where you just grab the shine sprite and hold on to it until the timer for it goes down. And you can be on teams and stuff like that. So it's definitely a good inclusion. And there's a few new characters, like the Splatoon Inklings are in there. The only new features where I'm a little bit iffy on is, now this is meant to be for, I guess, new players. There is an option for smart steering. What this is that if you're about to hit a wall or something, the cart will actually veer away from it and keep you on course. When I first played it, I didn't realize this at first, though there were times I'm just like, wait, why did my cart just veer off like that? Or it didn't quite feel natural. And there were times where it's like, if I'm stuck between at a fork in a road between a shortcut and the main course, sometimes the veering it'll veer me off course, and I'm just like, whoa, what's going on? And then I realize, oh right, this version has the smart steering. Thankfully, you can disable it because, like I said, it's meant to be for just new players to just that way they don't crash into walls all the time.
Yeah,
but it does have its issues, especially for those that are experienced like I am.
Yeah, back when I played that on my friend's copy, before I got a Switch, I always turned that stuff off. It was like, I know this is gonna mess up my flow that I'm already used to with the Wii U version.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's there if you can't play, basically.
There's even an auto acceleration option if you really can't play, but yeah.
Jane, stop this crazy thing as it crashes into a wall because you can't stop accelerating.
So wait a minute. What happens if you just turn the smart steering on and don't touch the controller? Does it just play the game for you?
If you have that in auto acceleration on, maybe to a degree.
I feel like it's not gonna have you win races.
Yeah, because you still need to use items.
I assume it's just at least if you're in control, it'll help if you have trouble. But if you put it down, it's probably not gonna do shit. Let's test that. We should totally test that.
I guess just to mess around with it. But going back to new stuff that is in this version, having smart steering off means you can actually do. There's a third level of drifting charge you can do. So you can get, if you drift for long enough, you'll get purple sparks, which is the third tier of boosts that you build up once you release from the drift after a long turn, which is cool. Of course, it means you'd have to maintain a really long drift in order to get it, but it's satisfying to pull off. And you have the ability to have 2 items this time, which is cool. Yeah, even though this is essentially just me buying a brand new copy of a game that I kind of already have, I feel like the inclusions and it being on the Switch is still worth getting as the definitive version of Mario Kart 8. And as someone that has all the Mario Karts, it was pretty inevitable that I would get this version anyway. So yeah, that was fun. And regardless of like how Mario Kart usually goes, it's like most of the time you do really well and then you have fun, but then you get hit by something and it's like, oh no, and then everything just kind of steamrolls and then you end up in like fourth or something. It's like, okay, cool. But that's just how Mario Kart is. So the only other things that I did get recently were when I was browsing Good Old Games, I saw these on sale. I'm just like, oh yeah, those games were released on Good Old Games, and that's Jazz Jackrabbit 1 and 2. Those have been games that have been kind of in my radar that I've been wanting to play to a degree, and I've only played a bit of both games. Well, the first episode of the first game, and then a tiny bit of the second one, just to test to see if it plays fine, of course. Although when I did play Jazz Jackrabbit 1, I did encounter a controller issue. Now, Jazz Jackrabbit 1 is run through DOSBox, and you can use a controller for it, but the only problem is that when I tried using my controller, like, the directional inputs would go crazy. It would like go like randomly up and to the left at times, and it would mess up the controls that way. So what I had to do, and this is the joys of like fixing issues in old PC games like this, I had to go into the config file for this game in Notepad, and then change a value into it. And what that did was it fixed the controller issue, because I had to look up in the Google Games forums to find that out, and that fixed my controller issue. So that was fun. But once I did fix the controller issue, I did play through the first episode, and it's a fun run and gun style game. The only issue I have with the game is that Jazz, he moves fast, and you have a tendency to like run into enemies if you're not constantly firing, which can be a bit annoying, especially since you can only take like 4 hit points and then you die. But as like a fun like Sonic-esque, I guess you could say, side scroller, it's good, and the music is really good as well. Of course, it's one of the best features of Jazz Jackrabbit, so that of course is there. And with Jazz Jackrabbit 2, I played a tiny bit of it, but I didn't run into any issues either. And it has a more zoomed out camera, so you don't have that issue of like running into people or anything like that. And you can actually toggle to walk or run, so that helps you be a bit more controlled than the first game. But yeah, these are fun games, and I'm glad they finally got on Good Old Games not too long ago, and I ended up getting them. And fun fact, these are games were made by Cliff I can't say his last name. Bliskinsky? Cliffy B, basically, from Gears of War and Unreal Tournament and all that. So it's funny to see where his early stuff came from. And that's pretty much it for me, unless you guys have something to say about Jazz Jackrabbit or anything.
I think I have a song from Jazz Jackrabbit that came with this Epic Games music pack. That's about it.
Well, I mean, like I said, music's the best part of those games, especially the first one. One last thing to mention is that you can actually get their collections on Google Games, and you also get the Christmas versions of 1 and 2. So, because those actually did have holiday versions of those games too, which was kind of funny. But that's it for me.
All right, well, I think I'll go next. Now, I admittedly haven't been playing much outside of Monster Hunter for the streams and Demon's Souls for my streams. But while I was out of town recently, I stopped into a GameStop and perused through their used section. And I walked out with 4 games. 3 of them were Tales of games.
Oh.
We're not talking about those.
No.
Instead, we're talking about Star Fox Zero.
Man, why would you get Blondie's hopes up and just do?
Hey!
This is still.
I'm actually
interesting.
I'm still intrigued because considering how varied opinions are on Star Fox Zero, I'm interested to see where this goes.
I don't know why I thought you had this game, but I guess not.
No, I hadn't played it. I knew there was a polarizing response, but I was avoiding reading too much about it.
Are you ready for the Killer 7 scale of reviewing for this game?
The what scale?
The Killer 7 scale. Remember that?
Oh,
It's back because you said Star Fox Zero.
well, I only played this up until I think mission 4, so it's an incomplete opinion so far.
The game's not terribly long. I'll just say that. Like most Star Fox games.
So I've played through like 3 or 4 of the missions so far, and I have a question. What were people bitching about?
The main complaint was the control scheme, if I recall.
Their biggest complaint
Completion.
Holy fuck! Oh my god! Their biggest complaints were the motion controls. Almost everything about it.
Even though there's a scheme where you can turn that shit off except when you're hitting a certain button?
Apparently, that's not good enough for them.
Well, fuck them. Get the fuck out of video games. Get
Ooh.
good, son.
Holy shit! Okay.
Careful, you might. Okay, careful, because half the people that play this game are very like against that kind of thing. So you got to be careful, not stir that bee's nest of that.
Oh, okay. I'll tone it down then. Turn in your man card.
Wow, that's not.
We need a
sexist
prove
at
it
all.
ticket right now. We need it.
I have a
Oh,
question.
you're asking for it. Yes.
In Star Fox Zero, does it let you see the R-Wing on your TV?
I believe if you hit the minus button, you can swap like the screen position. So like what you'd see on the gamepad and what you see on TV, you could swap that, I believe, with the minus button. A lot of people don't realize that.
Can you
Just
control
by
it? with a
just by
controller?
default, when I was playing it, I could see the R-Wing or the Walker or whatever I was piloting on screen. And on the Wii U gamepad, I could see from the cockpit view.
Oh, okay. Well, then that's fine.
Yeah. And you said controller?
Yeah. Do you just use the Wii U gamepad button?
You just use the Wii U gamepad. You could use a Pro controller if you're playing co-op, which me and Blondie did way back when I
Yeah, we
visited.
actually have, yeah.
But like, that's weird because like I forget how it works. Was I piloting the R-Wing with the Pro controller while you had the shoot?
I think we alternated. Like we did one mission where you were the gunner, I was the pilot, and then we switched. In the
But
next one.
I just don't remember like was I only able to shoot if I had the Pro controller? I can't remember this aspect.
I think you were piloting the R-Wing with the Pro controller, and the gunner is the Wii U pad that aims in all directions.
See, that's kind of cool. I like that.
We'll check again
Of course-
when we visit.
Of course, some people didn't like having like the fact that you had to do both at the same time. So it was admittedly, this game does have a little bit of a learning curve to get a feel for how this game handles with both piloting the R-Wing and aiming with the Wii U pad at the same time.
Mhm.
But
That's one thing I
once
would admit is it took me like 15-20 minutes of experimenting. Although they have the thing at the beginning of the game that walks you through like how to do all the different controls, which definitely helped.
So, I have another question. How much did it cost you, Scott?
$10.
See, that's
wow,
is
that's crazy.
this a complete copy, by the way? Star Fox Zero had like a package. It was like a full box. It would have both games in it, and it comes with a Star Fox patch.
Oh, it didn't come with guard.
Okay, so one, in a way, you're not missing much, and two, it's not a complete copy. But you know,
Well, isn't Star Fox Star Fox Guard
you are God. You are Slippy Turd.
the God?
The God, Slippy
stay on target.
No, you stay on target.
Yeah, I don't really care about guard. I mean,
That's okay.
Well, guard is okay. I mean, just it's an interesting tower defense type of game.
that's the
That's
thing. I
all it is.
really don't like tower defense games.
And that's
enough.
fine. The only notable thing about that, other than being one of Miyamoto's like projects, is Grippy Toad, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. Just the name. What were they thinking?
But yeah, going back to Star Fox Zero, you said you got used to it relatively fine, right?
Yeah, by the time I was like halfway through the first mission, I was pretty much in the groove with it. I didn't have the full motion control on, although I was kind of swapping between those two at various points in the game just to see how it felt. So I played with the limited motion control one, and it was like second nature by mission 2.
Yeah, I feel like the biggest problem and the thing that I didn't like is like if you went full motion control, like you'd be manually recentering that a lot, and it's just kind of like disorienting, but having the option of like having the limited motion controls where it like recenters when you stop firing, that felt way better, because like it's like, okay, I could just play without moving my hands. I'm like, it's like I could just keep my hands still while playing, even though like it can move a tiny bit, but I'm like moving my ship and aiming it like a Star Fox game. What I'm hearing is like, even with people like using this control scheme, they were still complaining, and I'm like, what are you doing with your hands when you're playing games? Are you like woobity wobbiting all over the place?
Some people do overcompensate for motion controls, and that's
is it like the those gaming school ads where they're like so into it, they're like, yeah, video games, like that shit?
Yeah.
I imagine it's the people who, it's like they're the first time they're learning to drive a car, and they turn the wheel really far and slam into a curb.
Oh, there was something else with the game I wanted to bring up, and I'm blanking. Oh, Scott, you watched me play it, right? When I was over at Blondie's house? Were you you had to be there. How else would I have gotten there?
Yeah.
No, I just showed up.
You guys were here. We played it at my place.
Do you remember how, I guess I'll say pro I was? Like, did you see how good I was doing? Just like playing a game with a quote-unquote terrible control scheme?
I have next to no memory of this.
I dominated Star Wolf with like no damage, I believe. I can't remember it was no damage, but I took him down really fast. And it was like a duel. And it was...
Oh, I have done the Pigma duel. That was really easy.
Well...
If you know what you're doing, yeah.
Yeah, which clearly a lot of people don't.
Again, it's basically like a lot of people like just couldn't get past that hurdle. Like, and given the attention span of some people with games, it's a very like rage quitty, like, oh, what the hell is this? Ew, throw it away type of thing.
Use this, not this.
Oh god. I do want to say, like, if it doesn't click for you, then it doesn't. Like, I just want to at least bring that up. It's like, you don't have to like it. It's like people can be like, I tried, I just can't. It's like, okay, that's fine. But
yeah,
like,
okay.
Personal
no
experience,
need to
like,
call those people.
Oh, believe me, there were two people I could have name called and be like, I hate their videos. But
Well,
that's about it.
No,
I ain't doing
not
that.
not like towards specific people. More like what Scott said earlier about how
Use these, not.
No, like, oh, turn your man card if you're complaining, type of thing.
Well, yeah, but like, it's strange because like, I think there was one mission where I got frustrated, but then it went away. And it is specifically a mission. I think the biggest other problem in the game where it's like, I'm not sure why, but it's not too bad. It's like the missions where like it forces the fixed camera view, as in like, okay, like in this game you could like lock onto enemies and it would like fix camera and shit and be all cinematic on the top screen. With those, you can just like do that at will, the Z targeting. But there's missions like the alternate mission 1, if you take the other path, where it permanently locks you in. Even in regular mission 1, I think it does this, but like it permanently locks you in, and it wants you to use the gamepad for that. And that confused me at first because I'm like, I'm flying with Resident Evil camera.
Or you can just switch to the cockpit view.
Exactly, but at the time when I was initially playing, I didn't realize that you could just button switch. But then I just like, okay, yeah, no, I'll just start using the gamepad stuff, and then I got used to it. But then there came a point where I just got used to the Resident Evil camera and just stuck with that. And like, nope, I know my lefts and rights now again.
Yeah,
just not on tank controls.
Yeah, that does happen with like certain bosses, but it is doable.
But that one mission was frustrating because it was like, the further you progress, the faster this big ass like EMP shield came out, and that was annoying. But then that was like the one time I got frustrated. But after that, I just like, I went to 100% the game and I had a lot of fun with it. So Scott, I do want a progress report on this game if you get further,
Yeah, next podcast, I am planning to continue playing through this. Who knows, next podcast, maybe I'll come back and say, I've changed my mind on it, after I've like gone through the game a couple of times, maybe done the alternate missions. As of right now, though, I'm having fun with it. I'm not having anywhere near as many problems as apparently some other people did, Jim Sterling.
Pro Jared. I'm sorry.
Well, so much for not name calling, right?
Well, no, those weren't the guys I was going to name call. I have 2 others that I won't say that I actually despise, but Pro Jared I love, but it's like he said he's like, I'm sorry I'm putting this on the list, but I'm like, no, you should be.
I would not put this game on the worst of games.
I don't see it. Bad controls make it sound like the game is unplayable, and it's like, no, clearly the game's playable.
Like, it's playable. You just gotta get used to it. And although the one complaint that I have that a lot of people seem to have that I'm just like, really, you're gonna complain about that thing? Is like how a lot of the callbacks and narrative style to like 64 is a bit too much, or it's like too similar, or feels like unimaginative, unoriginal type of thing. And I'm just like, guys, you wanted a 64 game since like Star Fox Adventures.
People wanted a 64 game in style, not stripping from it. Like they wanted it to like play it like structurally they wanted it like 64. Playability they wanted it like 64. They didn't want 64. If you could understand what I mean. It's like make it new, but make it feel like it's in that thing without pulling exact dialogue, exact scenarios. It's like it's not fully exact.
Yeah, but
but then you're gonna have people bitching about not having those.
Exactly. It's like,
well, then you have 2 versions of 64 you can play.
I know, but it just kind of like my pet peeve with some people have complaints with that game. Like you wanted 64, and then you got something that's like 64, but with some nuances and some new things and new bosses and things like that. But apparently, it wasn't what you wanted still, because you didn't like the new control scheme. Like I can get that, but when you're complaining about how it's like, oh, they're just calling back to 64 and but not in the way we want it. It's like, but you wanted 64 back in the first place. Because it's a fan favorites, and when you have fan service, they
wanted 64 gameplay.
But then they get upset at the fan service. And it's like, guys, really? I don't know. I think there's still a lot of cool new stuff in this game to warrant like this. Because I guess
there's some good levels in this game.
Yeah.
Some that Scott hasn't even reached yet. But yeah.
Yeah, I guess another thing it's like yet another retelling of the same Star Fox story. That's I guess also another main thing why people are complaining about how this is like done in a 64 style that they didn't want.
I just wish that with the name Zero, they would have at least, instead of it's a retell. It's like, no, go full prequel if you're saying Zero.
Yeah,
you could be weird like Resident Evil Zero or amazing like Yakuza Zero.
So is my sequel One Master?
I don't know.
Funk Master Flex.
Well, I'll just say this: people who want a continuation of like the Star Fox, I guess, story, to continuously go on. Do people not remember what all the crazy shit that went down in like Star Fox Command?
You could just pick one. That's
exactly, but it went in all sorts of weird directions. And it's like, I think people were so overblown by it. It's just like, you know what? No, let's go back to a narrative. And then they complain, oh, what the hell? This is just another retelling. It's like, I don't know. It seems like these people are just hard to please.
People are just like, no, not people, but like I feel like the devs were like scared of like what the hell happens. Like just say like, okay, this one's canon, the rest aren't. That's it. That's all you gotta do. You can just branch off for the one thing that is like canon and just ignore the other ones. That's it. That's not hard. But now Star Fox is dead, so congrats.
Well, I wouldn't say dead, but Star Fox Zero was kind of a...
It breathed more life than F-Zero did recently, so I'll give you a werehog for that.
Yeah. Unfortunately, Zero did not sell well. If Scott gained it for like $10 like 2 years later is an indication. But
I feel like...
Then again,
aside from the reception, the reason it sold well is, let's call it the Wii U.
You mean not well?
I did mean not well. I don't know if I didn't say that, but like, it's like... It wasn't because of the reception it got. That also didn't help. But again, it was on the Wii U, and by what is this? This game came out in what, 2015 or 16?
16.
Yeah, that was the end of the Wii U. So there was no way this was going to do well.
That and Paper Mario Color Splash were like kind of dead on arrival. Unfortunately,
I will say,
despite the fact that the complaints aren't as bad as some people say, but
I will say this: if they somehow bring the game to the Switch somehow, and like say it's like a retooled version, I'll get it again. Because maybe it would sell better on Switch. But because the name is Star Fox Zero, people are gonna hear that and be like, "Nope, I already know how I feel about that game. I don't care if it's retooled without the motion controls. No, thank you."
kind of like what happened to the Color Splash.
Yeah,
They don't care if it's better than Sicker Star. It's still like Sicker Star. They're not going to get it.
was that it though? Like you skipped, you obviously skipped Tails, Scott. Was Star Fox Zero it?
Yeah, that was it for me.
In terms of what you
Okay.
actually played, yeah.
I do want to play the co-op with you when I do visit, just to show you again, because you did forget.
I will say though, just for completion's sake, the 3 Tails games I got were Xillia, Xillia 2, and Grace's F.
Oh, so the main PS3 ones, got it.
Oh, yeah, I guess because they're like, in terms of like being in a GameStop, they're around and they're usually cheap now.
If you come across them, yeah.
They were all just lined up in a row on the shelves, and I was like, "Woo!"
Hey, it's alphabetized. Woo! It's like me looking for Yakuza games, but I see Yaiba, Ninja Gaiden, Z, and I'm be like, God damn it, no! I hate alphabetized shit like that.
That was there too.
I'm convinced there's a Yaiba in every GameStop.
You're
I
welcome,
think-
Fundy.
Yeah, thanks for that, Zero. I look forward to that whenever I do a Black Sheep on that.
Oh boy.
So that's it for me. Unreal, anything?
Xbox.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter, Xbox. Aside from the weekly Monster Hunter check-in per podcast, which we already confirmed with Zero, not Star Fox Zero, our Zero.
Gotta clarify that.
Gotta clarify it, because too many zeros in this podcast. Decided to pop in my Xbox. But actually before that, update on God of War. Finished the game. Platinumed it as well. Yeah, it was really good. Had a lot of fun with it, and I don't know. I don't want to say I'm a God of War fan now, because like I'm still not sure if I want to get the older games. But that being said, whatever the next one is going to be like, I'm in. I really enjoyed how this game played, how it turned out. Just grand old time. Definitely one of the. I do want to say it is probably one of the best games I played this year. It's up there with Monster Hunter. I'd put it in my year-end list right now. Gotta pick. Those 2 games so far are locks for my favorite of the year. And Yakuza 6 is half lock right now. It's like, you know. But back to Xbox. Decided that I had 2 games, excluding the 5 million in rare replay. But like, there's 2 games that I haven't touched ever since I bought them, and that's Sunset Overdrive and Recore. I only had hard drive space for 1, so I picked Sunset Overdrive because that was lingering in my collection longer than Recore. So Sunset Overdrive is that game Insomniac Games made after the amazing blunder known as Fuse. You may remember, guys, that stream of the demo I did, where I did a melee takedown near a ladder, fell through the floor, so the animation just like lost half of its people, and yeah.
And Freddy Krueger killed him in his dreams.
Yeah. That clip is still on Twitch. I'm so happy that's still on Twitch. That was so good. But yeah, this is pretty much like the anti-Fuse, where it's like that game got focus tested to shit because EA wanted Overstrike, which was the original name for Fuse, to be a more serious, less cartoony-ish game and more violent and whatever. Just like, there's a whole video I believe Hyperbit Hero did about how Overstrike became Fuse, and it's painful, man. EA's garbage, but water's wet. But anyways, Sunset Overdrive is pretty much like the, hey, okay, no, this is a non-serious game that has color, and it's exclusive for the Xbox One. I've got some things to say about Sunset Overdrive. I'll say this right now. The game is fun. I would describe this as like Crackdown meets Tony Hawk. Let me explain. It's an open world game, so you're like multiple, like you got like 3 islands sort of, and it's like a big city. you traverse around, bouncing off rooftops, grinding rails and like power lines, and like eventually you'll be able to like slide on water and air dash in the air and all this stuff. And traversal is a lot of fun in this because like if you're just walking around, you're super slow and you're gonna get killed. So the game wants you to like, especially in combat, it wants you to like be constantly moving, constantly grinding around, and you do have like a combo meter for doing this stuff. So that's why it's sort of like Tony Hawk, where you want to keep like shooting, blowing enemies up while bouncing and grinding everywhere, and that's really fun. But this may be one of the most unfunny games I've played in decades.
Oh, wow.
Oh my god. The humor in this game is intentionally in your face and not serious, and that's okay. But nearly every line of dialogue and every joke that shows up had me stone-faced. Like, I did not even smirk.
So, like, bad 90s cartoon?
No, worse.
Bad 80s cartoon?
Worse.
See,
I can't even compare to this. Like, it's just like... You're gonna say something, Zero?
the only real way to make some of the stuff land better, in my personal opinion, playing Sunset Overdrive, is you have to make a silly ass fucking character. My brother made a super buff dude with a giant fro, and he's wearing pink, like a pink thong. And like anytime there's a serious conversation going on, it's hard to take. It's hard to take it seriously because you've got this dude with a giant pink fro, wearing a pink thong, and he's got an open shirt, and he's wearing like these giant yellow sunglasses. That's what you got to do. If you make your character try to look like regular-ish by the game standard.
Oh no, I've been changing my outfits up constantly. I had like a weird ass superhero outfit at one point, and then like I think there's a hairstyle that is almost like Zach De La Roca.
But yeah, that's I do see what you mean. Like the comedy's not that great. But
This came out in 2014, and some of the jokes like show that it came out in 2014. It's nearly painful. Like even in serious moments, it's not serious. Like it's hard to say. It's like, oh, here's a serious thing. Here's style in your face funny moment, and I'm like, look, I get it. I don't mind that you're lighthearted. I'm not trying to take you seriously, but it's not funny. It's just like I'm having fun playing this game, but anytime gameplay doesn't happen, I just have to check out.
Is it one of those things where it might function better if it makes the bad joke and then turns the bad joke against itself?
See, I don't know. You'd have to see this, Scott, to really get an idea and judge for yourself if that would work, because I don't know.
Just from your description, it's like someone watched Family Guy and just didn't get why some of the jokes were funny.
I can't even compare it to that, to be honest. It's like a whole other level of... It's literally like, fuck it, the game. And there's like so many fourth wall breaks that it's like, it's predictable too! Like all these jokes are predictable. It's like, oh, is he gonna mention how rudimentary this is? Oh, is he gonna mention how like, hey, you're an NPC, and it's like, here's a new character in the story, and this actually just happened with where I'm at. It's like, okay, you're an NPC, I'm gonna do stuff for you, you're gonna like me more, that's how it works. And then the NPC's like, no, but guess what, that's how it works. And I'm like, no shit, that's how it works. That's not funny, you're just stating the statements. Ugh.
It sounds like a teenager with too much free time on the internet wrote this game.
Oh yeah, especially when there was a Doge dialogue line during combat. Yeah, that's not far off. Oh man, I can't. Okay, there was like, okay, there's a fucking drug sequence in this game. That's how predictable it is. The circumstances where it happens is kind of like, I don't know. This is hard to it's not hard to explain. I don't want to explain it, but it's not exactly drugs, but it's a drug trip. Anyways, there was one thing that I wasn't expecting, but I don't even. There were two things. I don't think they're funny, but I'll state these stuck out. One of them was a Gymkata reference, and it's not referencing something that happens in Gymkata. They say, "Oh, I could be trying out for the next Gymkata film." I'm like, okay.
Who?
Gymkata. It's a movie, like, gymnastics, and kata.
Never heard of it.
Either Obscurus Lupa may have covered it at one point, or it's on an episode of Best of the Worst. That's how I heard of it. So that's why I heard of it. But if you never heard of Gymkata, that's gonna go right over your head. You'd be like, "What the fuck is that?" And then there's I can make a Bomberman joke, but I shouldn't because might get sued. Which I guess at the time, like, the game was made, it makes sense because of Konami's bullshit that was eventually happening. Because Phantom Pain came out like the year after, and there were still those. I guess around 2014, there were some Konami stirrings that people weren't happy about. People weren't happy with Konami in general still at that time, I believe. But it reached a fever pitch the year after. But yeah, it's just like, the best way I could describe Sunset Overdrive is a lot of fun, but unfunny. I feel like I'm getting closer to the end of the game. I'm gonna keep playing it. Like I like doing stuff in this game, and I like shooting. I like traversing. It's basically, if Crackdown 3 actually comes out later this year, this may as well be like a warm-up in a sense. Like, it's not going to be exactly like Crackdown, but just like the idea of how traversal works. Even though it's not the same. It's like, it's got that sense of speed and like chaos that Crackdown kind of had. That's kind of like ticking those boxes for me. And I guess, not counting God of War, it's been a while since I touched an open world game, I believe. And I'll probably like get all the collectibles and shit in the meantime. But I paid like, what, $6-7 for this when I first got it? It's been worth it. I couldn't care about the story at all, even when it's like not serious at all, and I'm just like, the jokes, just no. I do not like this game's humor. It's just trying way too hard to be in your face, not serious, that it bites itself in the ass. And to be absolutely sure, I looked up an old Game Trailers review on Sunset Overdrive, written by Ben Moore. Felt the same way. The humor just, no thanks. It's not hitting. But yeah, if you do, Blondie, say if you get an Xbox One, I'd still recommend the game to you. Just don't expect to laugh. Like, expect to like at least have fun, but don't expect to tolerate anything else.
And that's fine.
Especially since the game is like, even in Canadian, I believe it'd be like under $10.
Oh, yeah, it's pretty cheap here.
Yeah, my brother got it for like nothing when he got his Xbox One, and it's one of those games that's like painfully average. I think it's got good gameplay, but it doesn't hold my attention for very long.
I would like to quote Huber on this. It's probably the definition of swimming in sevens. Like, it's a 7 out of 10 game. Like, it'd be higher if the humor was better. But like, I haven't even touched the multiplayer though. I'm not even gonna go into that because I don't have Xbox Live. But at some point I'll touch it. But right now, I'm gonna finish the game at some point. There you go. That was really it. Between aside from finishing God of War, it was mainly Sunset Overdrive.
Alright, well, we bring that section to a close and we head into viewer questions, which we don't have any.
Oh, well, if anyone does, then...
Oh, I thought you were going to do it. Okay.
I don't remember all that. That's your job.
Alright, well, if you have a question that you want us to answer on the podcast, you can ask it in the YouTube comment section. You can ask it on the website upload. You can ask us on the post on Facebook, facebook.com/RiverCityGamers. Or you can ask us on
Shout Engine,
because we can see it there as well. But for now, what's new? What games are you looking forward to? What projects are you working on? Unreal.
Hey, we're looking forward to Monster Hunter Generations Ultimate, as we stated earlier in the podcast. Fuck, I feel like that was the only new game announcement.
We kind of mentioned a couple upcoming games we're looking forward to. Obviously, Monster Hunter, the Bloodstained prequel retro game.
Oh yeah,
Mega Man 11. Mega Man 11.
Does that have a release date?
No, but it's Mega Man 11.
Well,
Okay.
Curse of the Moon is something I'm gonna try and play during Anime North.
Did you guys mention Mega Man 11?
No, because we don't know the release date. Why should we be excited? We don't know how soon it's gonna be. No. Also, it's not your turn, Mega Man.
Hey, Metroid Prime 4 is coming out.
Thanks, Walmart, for spoiling all these E3 surprises. Thanks, Walmart Canada.
My game actually has a trailer.
Hey, Curse of the Moon has a trailer. Monster Hunter has a trailer. Oh,
but
boy.
Metroid Prime 4 doesn't have one.
Metroid Prime 4 is a... I'll just say right now, because Walmart Canada, by the way, spoiled it, we're probably going to see more at E3.
Well, I imagine we would anyway for Metroid Prime 4.
I would, like... I'd agree in another timeline, but I feel like maybe next year I'd be more... Like, it's like, how quick are they making this, is the question. It's like, if we're seeing footage, like, this year, and it's like they started developing it, last year? I'd be like...
Well, I think... And they might also reveal stuff... I'm pretty sure they're going to reveal stuff for the new Smash, which is supposed to come out.
Oh, no, they are. That's confirmed.
Yeah.
Like, they're doing a whole, like, tournament for it at E3. That's more or less, like, ready.
Uh-huh.
But I feel like Smash was, like, developed, like, relatively, like, in secret. But Prime 4 is, like, now it's in development. It's just like, think Kingdom Hearts 3, for example. Like, it's, like, now in development, even though it's been, like, 5 billion years. But I think what's coming really close is Curse of the Moon, and I do want to play that. And since I switched my thing to the Nintendo Switch, I'll try and play it while we're going to Anime North. Because everything else is like something I've mentioned on the podcast, especially since Monster Hunter now shares the same date as Yakuza Kiwami 2. So I'm getting a double dose of franchises I love on the same day, and I'm going to die. Nope. That's it for upcoming games. Projects. My Sea of Thieves review came out. If you haven't seen it, I'm happy I got that done. It seems like the response has been relatively okay. And by that I mean like people have shown it to have like enjoyed it. I don't expect it to break 100 views. I'll be surprised if it does. It's getting there, but I don't expect
Hey, you did a good job.
Yeah, exactly. I think I'm gonna like reviews like that. That's gonna be the format from now on. And I still want to get that second series started, but I don't want to do it quite yet. There's got to be some thought process behind that. Name as well, and it'd be mainly those two shows for reviews. It'd be Unreal Reviews and the other thing. That'd be reviewing, and then I'd have my usual con travel videos whenever I go to the con. Speaking of reviews, since Sea of Thieves is done, right now no plans to start another video quite yet. Maybe after Anime North, but the big thing after Anime North is the collaboration between me and Scott. I do want to hunker down and work on. Like, be like, okay, fun time's over, back to work. Let's get this thing out.
Get it done.
Wait till after Anime North.
Get it done now.
They'll get it done when you get your stuff done.
Get it done. It's coming.
Yeah. Yeah, see, I got a video out. Now I can be in the mindset where I can work on another thing, which will be that collaboration. We're probably not going to discuss it when I'm visiting Scott, but like after, because we just want to relax. You need some vacation time, even though we've been lazy for a while. At least I've been lazy for a while.
Get it done.
No, wait a few more weeks, and then we'll work on it. Then we'll get it done. I think that's it, though. Again, Sea of Thieves review is out. Pretty proud of it. Check it out. Yeah, just check it out. Check it out.
Check a look.
Now, someone else needs to check a look at their updates. Who will that be?
Well, we'll start with me. Now. I'm working on the next part of the Seiken Densetsu retrospective. I know I mentioned this before, but it's technically the not Seiken Densetsu retrospective, just because a lot of people got mixed up about it. That's going to be a ways off. I'm still pretty early in the game, although that hasn't stopped me from running out a few pages of the script already.
Was it released in Japan?
I don't think it was.
Because would its name be Seiken something else, or I don't know how that would
Well, it's
work.
the not Seiken Densetsu retrospective.
I still consider it part of the series because it's got the same name convention in it.
Spin-off at
Except
most.
it doesn't have the same name.
It just has secret.
Yeah, I mean, you can
Not-
consider it maybe a
Not.
spin-off.
It has secret
Part of
off,
the
but not
Secret
the
series.
the mana. It doesn't have mana. Man,
Do you think Secret Band is a fan of the Secret series? Okay, I'm done.
Aside from that, well, by the time this podcast goes up, this video will be out, but finally passed all the Fearless Marathon videos, so I'm starting to do other stuff that I streamed at various points, including one where there's somebody who showed up for it that you might not have expected to be there. That's all I'm going to say about it. As for other videos, I mean, I'm still working on Zongeki no Regenlab. That's going to be a little slow because it involves a lot of translating. Video game-wise, aside from the retro spin-off of Bloodstained, Shaq Fu, June 5th.
everyone who goes to E3 gets a free copy. Shaq Fu,
Oh,
Legend
yeah.
Reborn.
That reminds me, I gotta check to see if my version got changed.
Oh, right, I forgot you kickstarted that.
No, I Indiegogo'd it.
Well, crowdfunded. We'll just say crowdfunded. That's still technically correct.
I'm not doing a kickback video on that.
Oh,
So just saying.
No, do a parody kickback where you just speak in Shaq voice, or just have Scott dub it over as Shaq. Like,
No.
Well, kickback. Play Shaq Fu, Legend Reborn.
I will say, after seeing a little bit of the gameplay of it, I kind of understand what they were talking about when they said they kept getting pushed back by all the different sponsorship things that they had to work out. Because just in like the first 10 minutes, there were at least 3 different sponsorship things I noticed. One of them being that Icy Hot is a power-up.
God, like, is this all Shaq-related product placement that's going in the game? Does that mean Gold Bond's gonna show up? Skin. I nurture my skin.
I want to go game so bad. It hurts. That's why he was icy hot.
But that's it for me. So, Zero.
Game I'm looking forward to, refer to E3 and obviously the Bloodstained game coming out, because I want to play that now. I think I can think of the top of my head that I'm looking forward to. Videos. Zero's Maverick Hunting is going to be going on a bit of a hiatus, so I can get stuff ready for Anime North. One of those videos is one that's been very, very anticipated that I'm working on, so that is going to come out. By the way, it's not gaming related, it's abridged related, so that's a thing. Same thing, I've kind of got Mega Man abridged games on a bit of a hiatus while I work on stuff for Anime North. I'm just really putting most of my focus in on that. There is one potential quick hunts that could come out just while it's just between, this taking so long to get my other videos done. So if that happens, look forward to that. It's going to be a quick hunt, so it's going to be a shorter video, but it's still going to happen, hopefully. And by the time this goes up, the 5th episode of the Hunter Base podcast should be up. So look forward to that. I am going to start having it be on different weeks. I'm going to push it back a week when Anime North happens, so that the RiverCityGamers Podcast and the Hunter Base Podcast are on the same week, because that's too much podcast for 1 week. So I am going to push it back. So the weeks that the RiverCityGamers Podcast isn't, it'll be the opposite weeks of that. So like it'll be the week before or after the RiverCityGamers Podcast, just so there's not so much podcast, because that might be a little too much for 1 week. But other than that, that's basically what I'm working on. Other than like maybe a couple of side videos, but that's what I have going down, and that's it for me.
And finally, Blondie.
Yeah, that just leaves me to close things off. I finally started editing my next video, so hopefully I'll be able to get that out soon. And other than that, I don't really have much else to say that hasn't already been said. There's still in retrospect that I'm going to work on right after, and then my other videos and reviews will resume after that too. I figured, well, once I get this next video out, I am going to try and make more of an effort to actually get videos out, because I know it's been a very long drought of lack of videos coming from me. But I am going to try and get in the groove of things, get everything going to actually get videos out more frequently, instead of just like months apart like what I've been doing now. Other than that, the games that are coming out, that have already been mentioned, I'm looking forward to, and I can't really think of anything else that we didn't say. So that's pretty much it for me.
Alright, and I just want to throw out there that a couple weeks from now, everyone in this podcast right now will be at Anime North happening in Toronto, Ontario, Canada.
Yeah, boy, party on Thursday night in that one fucking hotel room across from
What, the rave room?
the Swiss Chalet.
Boom, 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 boom.
And we do have a couple panels there too.
Yes, we have a Let's Play panel and an abridging panel, back to back.
In the same room, no less.
It's easy for us. We don't have to move all our shit to another room.
Now, should we state when and where during Anime North these panels will take place?
No.
Scott.
No, figure it out yourself.
All right,
Yeah,
fine, I'll do it.
We have
So
to pull the
the Let's Play panel is going to be on the Sunday at 1 p.m. in the Toronto room in the Delta. And in the same room at 2 p.m. will be the Abridged panel. And all of us, I believe, are on the Let's Play panel.
Yeah, we're all on the Let's Play panel, but you and, I believe, SCR are...
We're on the Abridged panel, yeah. Unfortunately, Canadian Jutsu could not make it this year to Anime North, so he will not be part of the panels. But that's why. But as you guys can see, we've got help.
Sort of.
Sort of.
Oh.
Is it just you two for the Abridged panel? Like, no other outside help?
I think just us currently. I don't know if anybody else is hopping on it.
But I'm pretty sure it's just us for LP, though.
Yeah. I will mention that for the LP panel, two other Let's Players might show up. My friend Sam or Asked Anak, who does Asked Anak Gaming, will be there. He's a Let's Player from Halifax, Nova Scotia, and he's not going to be part of the panel. He's just going to be there. And one of Jeff, otherwise known as Frey Draws, who does the art and does several videos with me on my channel, will also be there, most likely. So they will also show up. They're not going to be part of the panel, but they're going to be there. So if anybody who, watches my stuff and wants to meet them, they'll be there.
I don't know if what I'm going to do for the Abridged panel is actually helping with it so much as just shitposting during it.
I mean, is that any different from anything else you've done?
No.
So it's par for the course.
Pretty much. And on that bombshell, we come to the end of the River City Gamers podcast. Once again, I am SCXCR.
I am Unreal.
The coin on the bottom of the ground still says I'm Zeromaster.
And I'm Blondeguygamer.
So if you got heads, it'd be one master?
I don't know, probably that's the sequel.
Or either that or it's just in binary, like zeros and ones.
Haha, I get it because techie joke and I'm a techie.
Yeah, that's clearly what I went for.
See you guys at Anime North.
What if the coin lands on its side?
Oh, if it lands on its side,